eating no more. Hi, this is Jovanka from JovankaCiares.com, and today I have a very dear and amazing guest, Miss Grace Smith. Hi, Grace.
Hi, everybody.
I'm sure you all know Grace well because she's been on a handful of my videos. And so once again, I wanted to bring her here because we've been talking about stressful eating, binge eating in the middle of a pandemic, binge eating when you're stressed out. And it doesn't have to be a pandemic for us to binge eat. We've been doing that for as long as the modern era has become the modern era. But especially in this day and age when we have been sitting at home, stressing about family, health, finances, our future, the future of our world. We at first started hoarding food, and now we are stuck with all this food and very little to do, and we want to feel better, so we tend to overeat. And if you're anything like me, you say, you know what, I did that for 3 weeks. Now that I'm in kind of like the new norm, I'm just gonna take the food out. And I'm just going to stick to my routine because I have the discipline. I can do this. And it doesn't happen. Somehow I found a stash that I, saved in the back of the cupboard about 6 months before, and I stuffed myself with that. So Grace, who is an amazing hypnotherapist, I'm going to let her tell us her story a little bit in a second, has written an incredible book where she is specifically addressing the idea of losing weight, but also eating healthily by reshaping the way that you think from the inside out. So first and foremost, welcome, Grace.
Thank you for having me, Jovanka. I love you so much. It's great to be back. And the book, Close Your Eyes, Lose Weight.
So Grace, tell us a little bit about the work that you do and a little bit about hypnosis as a whole.
Sure. So the main thing to know about hypnosis is I call it meditation with a goal. That really helps to put it in the context of what you should expect to feel when you're in a hypnotherapy session. So it's nothing like what the media makes it out to be. There's no swinging watches, there's no clucking chickens, there's no getting stuck, and there's no not being hypnotized, right? If somebody goes, oh, that doesn't work on me, that's actually false. Every single person on the planet can be hypnotized because all hypnosis is accessing a state of mind that you go in and out of naturally all day long, except for with hypnosis, we go there intentionally. So that state of mind is called the theta brainwave state. So if we were to put sensors on our head and watch the brain waves that we are producing just by communicating right now on a computer screen, we'd be producing what are called beta brainwaves. That's normal waking consciousness, totally alert, having a conversation. If we were to get quiet, stare out the window a little bit, start daydreaming, those waves would start to look like this. And those are called alpha brainwaves. So when you're in the shower and you get that light bulb moment, that great idea, you got it because you were in alpha. You were still aware of your surroundings, but you were relaxed. The water, the sound, just the calming effect of those negative ions helped you access a state where you could reach your ingenuity, where you could reach your creativity. And that's why good ideas come to you. At the very bottom is called delta. That's sleep. Those waves look like this.
Yeah.
So when we're sleeping, yeah, unconscious, right? We have no awareness of our surroundings from a conscious perspective, but our subconscious is wide awake dreaming, right? Now there's this beautiful sweet spot that is deeper than alpha, so deeper than daydreaming, but more conscious and alert than sleep. It's called the theta brainwave state, and it's where you go when you deeply meditate, and it's where we go in hypnotherapy. So it's something you've been in and out of your whole life. When you're watching a movie and you know you're in the theater, you're conscious of the fact that you're in the theater, you're conscious of the fact that your buddy is stuffing down popcorn, but everything melts away and you're just in the story, you're in the love story, you're crying when they break up and all the things. You're not thinking about the emails you have to write. That's theta. That's deeply relaxed yet highly focused. So we take that focus in hypnosis and we bring it inside, we make it internal, and we focus on your limiting beliefs, the things that are holding you back from living the life of your dreams. And so that's all hypnosis is. It's very simple. It's scientifically proven. There's fabulous studies out of Mayo Clinic, Stanford, Yale, everywhere, more and more every single year. So it's just a powerful, powerful way to change your life. And I got into it by using it to quit smoking many, many years ago now. And then early on, when I was just a part-time hypnotherapist, but still had a career in corporate America, I helped a man break through his paralysis. So he was paralyzed from a stroke. He had debilitating, crushing depression as a result of being immobile for 4 months. We had one session together. In the session, he moved his left arm for the first time in 4 months. He'd been totally paralyzed up until that point. That's the day I said, nope, forget it. Put in my 2 weeks notice at my corporate job, said I can't look myself in the mirror if I let another day go by where people think this is clucking chickens, when it's one of the most powerful ways to change your life. And the best part of that story is I ended up marrying that man's son. So that's how I met my future father-in-law, was helping him break through his paralysis. So
Yes,
this is more than a job. It's a life's mission to make hypnosis mainstream.
absolutely. And if you are seeing this in these days, Grace is pregnant with her second baby, and that's why she's glowing. And by the way, Grace is just an incredible hypnotherapist. Just the sound of her voice and her ability to help you get away from your own neuroses and get in that theta brainwave state that she's talking about. I was always a fan of hers, but I became a complete convert when she helped me through my lifelong fear of flying. And if I promise you, if I can get over my fear of flying, and now I've been to over 30 countries around the world, then you can help yourself with the power and the help of hypnosis. So this particular book and this particular video is very specific about the one issue that seems to be plaguing anywhere between 60 and 80% of people in the modern world, which is that we all feel like we could actually trim down, and we all go through this yo-yo dieting where we feel like we have to starve ourselves and we have to do these incredible sacrifices, and we tend to lose the weight, and then you kind of gain it back because our behaviors have not changed. And that's one of the things that you address in the book.
Absolutely. So when your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are at odds, your subconscious mind's always going to win. So here's an example. If your conscious mind goes, I'm going to eat healthy today, and then you feel a sad emotion, but you've been trained throughout your life to not look at that, to not investigate it, to not do anything about it other than shove it down and pretend it's not there, then the subconscious goes, uh-oh, I'm sad. Sad is not good for survival. For me to be alive and well, I have to be alert and surviving. So I need a dopamine hit. The fastest way for me to get a dopamine hit is those potato chips.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the conscious mind is going, I'm going to eat healthy, but the subconscious mind is going, I need a dopamine hit, the subconscious mind's going to win.
Yeah.
Until you get into the subconscious and you reprogram it on purpose, which you can do by accessing the theta state very simply. So that's really what's happening here. Excuse me, we're in this world where there is so much uncertainty, there's so much fear, that everybody is feeling emotions at such a ratcheted up level that survival mechanism in the subconscious is seeking this dopamine hit wherever it can get it. And then on top of that, we're locked in next to our kitchens.
Mm-hmm.
So something that we address in the book is overcoming emotional eating. And it's so powerful to address something like that now when we're being triggered again and again and again, day after day, because it's not enough to just know the information. It's not enough to just know. I'd actually feel better in the long run if I chose an apple instead of a piece of pizza, because that doesn't change our habits. But if you go into the subconscious and you let the subconscious know why the apple is going to improve your survival, why it makes you more safe, more healthy, more nourished than the pizza, then all of a sudden it's not like you look at the pizza and go, now I have the strength to say no. you actually just don't want it because you're operating from a place of self-love where all you want to do is nourish your body. So there's a lot packed in there, and we go through all those points in length in the book, but that's the general gist, is you have to start operating from a subconscious place of self-love and not from a desperate place of seeking dopamine.
And the book is it's almost like a kind of like a self-study course, if you will. So you don't, as much as working with somebody like you one-on-one is incredibly powerful and can potentially get you results faster, for the average person who needs immediate, needs to start somewhere, this book is a great first step because it allows them to go through the process of not only learning what is hypnosis and how they can adapt it to their particular goal of weight loss, correct?
100%. Yeah, I'll just briefly read through what the table of contents are so you guys can see what the 12-week program is, because it's laid out over 90 days. So the first thing is you have to learn how to hypnotize yourself for weight loss. So that's the first thing I teach you in the book. So you can work with a hypnotherapist, but the point of the book is that you don't need to. You can do this on your own. The next thing is a preparation week where we train you to have motivation for the long term. We can all start a diet for a week, but can we maintain the motivation required to rewire your brain over the course of 90 days? With this book, now you can. And then I teach you my foolproof meal prep plan, which includes an entire meal plan made by Jovanka. It's beautiful plant-based meals. They're gorgeous. So her amazing creations are in the book. Then we go into week 1, which are the fundamentals, training your brain to actually chew your food. You'd be amazed that almost no one does. To hydrate before every meal and to stop eating when you're 90% full. So training your brain to do that automatically so that you don't have to think about it. 2, limiting beliefs that have to go. So thoughts like, I'm fat, I'm ugly, everyone in my family gains weight when they're 50, it's not safe to lose weight. Whatever these beliefs are, even if they've been true in your experience before, they're not serving you now as you attempt to get healthier. We've got to reframe them. 3, training you to eat intuitively. So even though we've got this beautiful meal plan from Jovanka as suggested meals, we're not telling you do keto, do paleo, go vegan, only eat red meat and green beans. Like, this is about your body and what you need. And what you need today might be very different from what you need 6 months from now. You could have an allergy that you don't know about. So a food that's really healthy for me causes inflammation in your body. Intuitive eating is key. We train you that. Week 4, training your brain to crave exercise. Yes, I said it, to crave it. And the way we do that is we use that release of endorphins, which can become addictive, to our advantage. So again, we're not telling you you have to do ballet or you've got to do, I don't know. I'm pregnant. I'm walking right now. That's what I can come up with. Walking. Whatever your exercise that you love or you feel called to, we train your brain to do it for 20 minutes every day until you release those endorphins so you crave it. Again, it's all happening at the subconscious. Week 5 is when we overcome emotional eating. But because of the pandemic, I threw in a bonus recording that you get on day 1. So you can start listening to that before we actually do the deep dive work. Yes. Week 6, overcoming eating with bored, which is very similar to emotional eating, but nuanced enough that it deserves its own week. Week 7, how to upgrade how you reward yourself. And all I'll say about that, to keep it short, is think about when you were a little kid. Every time you did something good, you were a little good girl, good little boy, you got a lollipop. When it was your special birthday, it was filled with sugar. Every holiday, every celebration. So in our head, what we think a reward is actually something that causes inflammation in our body and long-term pain if we consume too much of it. So we have to reward ourselves with things that actually help us, not hurt us. Week 8, how to avoid the people and places that trigger you. Interestingly enough, this was written before we all had to stay inside our homes. But this is very helpful for when the doors open and we can go back out, because I know everybody's sitting around thinking about that favorite restaurant they want to rush to. That's not a problem, especially if you show up with good habits in place. It's going to be a problem if we rush out the door to get our fix and we don't have these right in place. So we're in the home stretch now, week 9, putting the law of attraction into work, keeping in mind whatever you focus on is what you get more of. If you're focused on the fact that you hate your body, what are you going to get more of? If you focus on the fact that you are a failure and you've never been able to make it through the diet, what are you going to get more of? So using the law of attraction with hypnosis to make sure you're focused on the outcome you actually desire. Week 10 is for all of us who have experienced predatory behavior. So if you've lived in New York City and you're a woman, and even if you're a man, potentially, certainly a small percentage of men at least, but every single woman has been catcalled, probably since the time that she was 12 years old, right? So there's a subconscious fear in many, many, many people that the healthier they become, the more susceptible they are to undesired attention, more vulnerable. And that can extend to spouses not wanting to be more sexually attractive to their partner, because not wanting to have to fend things off more often than that. I mean, it's amazing how common that is. And then all the way up to, there's a statistic found that as many as 80% of morbidly obese women were sexually abused when they were children. And so there's a subconscious belief that the bigger you are in physical size, the more invisible you become to a predator. And what that does is it makes us a perpetual victim, right? We're not winning by suffering with diabetes and everything else that can come from morbid obesity. So this chapter is about taking your power back. Week 11. Two more. Overcoming the fear of success. This is typically the time where the subconscious goes, you're looking good. You could have just a bite of XYZ. And that self-sabotage starts riding in. And like Jovanka mentioned earlier, the yo-yo, we do well, we don't do well, we do well, we don't do well. This is right where the curve could start to turn, and we got to stop it in its tracks and say, no, this is my new normal. Yeah. This is not like I cross the finish line and I can just go back. And really get that in. And then finally, week 12, learning to love yourself for the long run. Because the truth is, if you hate yourself subconsciously, you'll do things to sabotage your success for the rest of your life. If you love yourself subconsciously, you'll make choices that nourish your body, mind, and spirit automatically. So this is as much about self-love as it is about anything else.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I love about this book is that it's not a diet book. It is not a self-help book. This is it has elements from both of those, but it is about the part that none of those other books talk about, the part that we don't see. And you always talk about the iceberg, right? Like we are always over here with diets and with self-help and this, we're talking about what we see above the water in the part of the iceberg. But what you're working on is that deep, deep part of the iceberg that you cannot see, and that it will make the difference between, sinking or, sailing into the horizon beautifully.
Yes.
So Grace, I know that, so I love that this book is taught, that you allow people to go through this journey slowly with the understanding that you didn't get there overnight. You're not going to get there overnight. That's why it's 12 weeks. And I love that, because it's important that we give ourselves that time. You also have a group challenge that you're doing with people in case they want to go above and beyond the book. Tell us about that.
Yes. This is why Weight Watchers was a success, right? As a company, as a corporation, as a philosophy, going in with other people and weighing yourself every week, it wasn't the points. The point system can exist anywhere. It was the community. So when my husband and I, he's my business partner as well, we're thinking about how can we help the most amount of people with this book. We said, okay, we got to do a challenge along with it. So you can do it self-study, or if you need accountability or want it, if you're craving community because you're in isolation, if you're excited to be around hundreds of other people who are dedicated to the same exact thing that you're dedicated to right now, if you want to join it with your mom or your sister or your aunt or your best friend who's across the country, so you can interact every day in a way that's, actually making your life better. That's what the challenge is for. So the book on its own is self-study, but the book with the live 90-day challenge is doing it in community. And it will include, weekly live videos from me, Q&A. There's a lot of different bonus elements. We might even get Jovanka in there to talk about her meal plan live. So there's a lot of very cool things happening with that. And it starts May 1st, doors open for the prep weeks, and then May 15th, we officially kick off.
Fabulous. And I'm going to put a link not just to the book, so you can go and get the book, but also the link to that challenge, because I think it's important that people get an opportunity to spend a little bit more time on that part of themselves. Like this whole idea of, I lost 20 pounds in 2 days, as if this was what's important. That competition or that short-term thing is what's important, and it is almost impossible for people to compete with that. And so if you have that community, if you also learn in the process to love the foods, to love the process of becoming healthier and stronger, then you have a bigger and better chance of maintaining that success longer.
Yeah, there's countless studies that have shown that any weight loss program done in community is infinitely more effective than one on its own, because it's really easy to just go, oh, well, I messed up today, guess it's over, right? Versus,
I don't know if I have a slice of pizza.
Yeah. Get back on the horse, get back in the community. And here's the thing, over the course of 90 days, where there'll be slip ups, 100%.
Absolutely.
100%. This is not about perfection. It's about progress. And you're so much more likely to progress if there's other people holding your hand.
Wonderful. Well, tell us again the name of the book.
Yes. Close Your Eyes, Lose Weight. And my name is Grace Smith.
Grace Smith, amazing hypnotherapist to the star. I'm going to put the links to both the book and the challenge, the group challenge, here, so that it will be very easy for you to find her. But if you do happen to have a question or a comment about hypnosis, about the book, about Grace, about the process itself, let us know by leaving a comment below, because we want to hear from you. It's important that we get to know what was working for you, or what has been your experience. Make sure that you share this video with all of your friends all over the internet, and that you subscribe for more tips and a jolt of motivation for your healthy, happy, and beautiful life. Thank you, Grace.
Thank you for having me.
See you soon.